A hunger moves where snow erases every scream. It does not stalk like an animal. It waits like a judgment. The Wendigo is not born from claws, antlers, or darkness alone. It begins when a human soul opens its mouth too wide, and hunger becomes a sacred crime. It carries law, shame, memory, and fear inside one starving silhouette. The true origin of the Wendigo belongs to the northern forests, frozen hunting grounds, and oral traditions of Algonquian-speaking peoples. Emankri, Ojibwa, Inunaskapi, Soto, and related communities. The figure changes name, tone, and detail. Yet one meaning remains brutally clear. The Wendigo is hunger without balance. It is greed, stripped of excuse. A sacred warning shaped by the pressure of need. It is the person who consumes until personhood collapses. The human shape after humanity has been eaten from within. Many popular horror images show a towering deer-skulled creature with antlers rising from a blizzard. That version is visually powerful, but it is not the deepest root. The older terror is more intimate. The Wendigo begins as a warning about a human being crossing a forbidden boundary. The boundary is invisible until it is broken, and then it becomes a mouth. In many tellings, that boundary is cannibal hunger, spiritual corruption, or selfish survival at the cost of kinship. The creature is not simply punished by becoming monstrous. The creature becomes the punishment. Its body turns into the shape of its crime. Its limbs stretch because desire reaches beyond the human limit. Its ribs sharpen because consumption gives it no nourishment. Its mouth remains open because enough has become impossible. That is the central horror. The Wendigo eats, yet it starves. It devours, yet it grows emptier. It takes life, yet becomes less alive. This is why the legend is not just a forest scare story. It is a moral map, drawn in snow, silence, and fear, where every footprint becomes a warning. The map is not drawn for entertainment, but for survival of the group. In places where cold and hunger could crush a community, sharing was not decoration. It was survival. A person who hoarded food or abandoned others did not merely fail privately. That person endangered the circle. The Wendigo transforms that danger into a visible nightmare. It says that greed is not small. Greed has a body. Greed has teeth. Greed can wear a human face until the face no longer fits. Some descriptions give the Wendigo's skin stretched tight across bones, with eyes buried deep, like dying coals. The creature looks famine-carved, but its emptiness is spiritual before it is physical. Other accounts speak of lips chewed away, breath like rot, and a heart made of ice. The frozen heart is one of the most important symbols. It does not simply mean coldness. It means empathy has been sealed shut. A heart of ice cannot recognize another life is sacred. It cannot feel the warmth of responsibility. It cannot stop taking. It cannot remember the meaning of kin. What remains is appetite, wearing the skin of a person. That is why the Wendigo is often connected to spiritual imbalance. The forest is not empty scenery. The trees are witnesses. The snow is a veil. The wind carries warnings from places no fire reaches. When the Wendigo appears, the world itself feels violated. Something has gone wrong between human need and sacred restraint. That rupture gives the creature its authority, because the land itself seems to reject it. The monster is the echo of that broken order. It is not only outside the camp, it can be inside the person sitting beside the fire. That closeness makes the legend terrifying. A wolf is a wolf. A storm is a storm. But the Wendigo suggests that a familiar voice can become a trap. It may call from the tree line. It may sound wounded. It may sound hungry. It may sound like someone you love. Then, the listener steps away from safety. Then the dark forest closes behind them. Then, the hunger learns another name. Some interpretations describe the Wendigo as a possessing force, a spirit of craving that invades the human will. In that version, the victim is not only attacked, but invited toward ruin. Others treat it as a transformed person, ruined by taboo and obsession. Both forms lead to the same abyss. The monster is both outside and inside. It hunts from the woods and whizzes from the self. This double nature gives the legend its enduring power. You cannot defeat the Wendigo only by locking a door. This is why the legend cannot be reduced to a chase through dark pines. The door may already be in the chest, cannot outrun it only by fleeing the trees. The trail may begin in desire. The first step may be taken before the snow even moves. The origin also reveals why the Wendigo should be treated with respect. It comes from living indigenous cultural worlds. These roots demand care, because sacred fear is not the same as spectacle. It is not a decorative internet beast. Its meaning is tied to land, language, survival, relationship, and spiritual responsibility. When the creature is reduced to an antlered costume, something important is lost. The shadow becomes empty decoration. The antlers may create a striking silhouette, but the deeper story needs no ornament. The real terror is the empty human shape. The real terror is hunger made sacredly wrong. The real terror is a warning that appetite can disguise itself as necessity and call itself survival. It whispers that the most dangerous monster may begin with a reasonable excuse. In tis sensei. The Wendigo is more than a cryptid. It is more than a cannibal spirit. It is a philosophy of excess, spoken through nightmare. It asks, so what happens when desire becomes law? It asks, what remains when compassion freezes? It asks how much a person can take before the person disappears. The answer is a creature that can never be satisfied. Every bite increases the hunger. Every victim deepens the emptiness. Every act of taking makes the creature less whole. That is the curse. Not merely to become monstrous, to become endless need. This is why the Wendigo feels so powerful in dark mythology. It is not frightening because it is strange. The mirror is colder than the myth because it reflects a weakness anyone can understand. It is frightening because its origin is recognizable. Human beings understand craving, desperation, and forbidden justification. They understand the temptation to say one more act will be forgiven because the need feels enormous. The Wendigo stands at that threshold. It does not simply threaten the body. It threatens the meaning of being human. In the QR shot lens, the Wendigo is the corpse of restraint walking upright. It is not only a creature designed, but a diagnosis of the soul. It is the silence left after kinship dies. It is the cold voice of appetite wearing a ruined face. Its true origin is not hidden in one cave, one tree, or one frozen valley. It is hidden in the fatal moment when hunger stops asking permission from the soul. That is why the Wendigo is not only a monster in the forest, it is the forest answering what humanity has already become. The final horror is not that the Wendigo exists somewhere beyond the fire. It is that the fire can go out inside a human being without a sound.